Today we are going to take a step-by-step look at a batch of early 2026 spoilers that are beginning to leak out. The rumors involve a nerve-wracking kidnapping, a fresh love triangle, and a wave of guilt that threatens to tear the Horton clan apart. 1. The triggering event. Sarah Horton is kidnapped. According to several reliable spoiler sources, Sarah Horton, daughter of Maggie Horton Kyriakis, granddaughter of the late Tom and Alice Horton, will disappear in the first weeks of 2026. Longtime viewers will recall that Sarah has been through the ringer before: switched babies, devastating breakups, and more than one brush with danger. In this new twist, an as-yet unnamed abductor spirits her away, and for several anxious February sweeps episodes nobody in Salem knows where she is or even whether she is alive. But the kidnapper does not stop there. Kristen DiMera, newly released from prison and supposedly trying to walk the straight and narrow, is seized as well. Even in a town famous for its criminal masterminds, grabbing a DiMera is bold. That tells us two things right off the bat. First, the villain is likely someone with nerves of steel. Second, there is probably more at stake than ransom money. Expect layers of secrets to peel back as this story heats up. 2. Maggie's guilt, and her anger at Xander. When the news breaks, no one is harder on herself than Maggie Horton Kyriakis. Any parent can understand why. Sarah is her only biological daughter, and Maggie has already watched her child suffer more than her share of heartache. On screen, look for actress Suzanne Rogers to deliver the kind of raw, tear-choked performances that have earned her decades of fan admiration. Still, grief rarely travels alone. It brings blame as its traveling companion, and Maggie directs most of that blame at Xander Cook. She trusted Xander, Sarah's husband and, at times, her fiercest protector, to keep Sarah safe. Why wasn't he there? How could he let her vanish? Maggie's anger toward Xander will be loud, public, and, by all accounts, relentless. At the same time, she berates herself for not seeing the danger sooner. It is a painful 1-2 punch that may drive Maggie to the brink of another relapse or impulsive decision. 3. Xander's spiral into self-loathing. Fan opinion on Xander Cook has always been split. Some remember his villainous early years, the diamonds, the blackmail, the ruthless streak. Others focus on the progress he has made, battling for custody of Sarah's daughter, stepping up for the Horton family, and showing flashes of genuine tenderness. Unfortunately, guilt hits Xander like a freight train. In the aftermath of Sarah's rescue, yes, spoiler insiders say she is eventually found alive, Xander decides he does not deserve her love. Convinced that he is the real danger in Sarah's life, he ends their relationship in a misguided attempt to protect her. For viewers over 65 who may remember similar noble but doomed soap sacrifices, think Roman letting Marlena go, for her own good, back in the 80s, this beat will feel painfully familiar. For, enter Brady Black, a shoulder to cry on, or trouble in a handsome package. While Xander wallows, Brady Black sees an opening. Longtime fans know Brady is charming, resourceful, and, let us be honest, not exactly a monk when it comes to romantic entanglements. He has bounced from Chloe to Teresa to Kristen and back again more times than most of us can count, and his decisions often come back to bite him. Nevertheless, Brady reaches out to Sarah with genuine concern. He reminds her that Xander's record is spotty, that she should not have to suffer for his shortcomings, and that she deserves stability. Over several coffee dates at the Brady pub, concern warms into friendship, and friendship drifts toward romance. Yet even as sparks fly, viewers will notice that Sarah avoids deep eye contact whenever Xander's name is mentioned. Her heart, it seems, still beats loudest for the big Scotsman, even if she has convinced herself that they are through. 5. Clearing up the wildest rumor, Rachel Black is not replacing Little Mickey. Every new storyline spawns at least one conspiracy theory that races around social media faster than a Salem police cruiser. Lately, clickbait sites have claimed that Rachel Black, Brady's young daughter with Kristen, will become Sarah's presumed dead little girl, Mackenzie "Mickey" Horton, through yet another baby swap. Let us set the record straight, this rumor is entirely false. The leak sources who predicted Sarah's kidnapping with eerie accuracy are emphatic: there is no plot to relabel Rachel as Mickey. Sarah's bond with Rachel will deepen because of shared trauma, both have endured kidnappings. And because Sarah may act as a stabilizing maternal figure while Brady juggles work and a new romance. But no baby switch, no secret adoption, no resurrection. If you see otherwise on a forum, the spoiler insiders say you can chalk it up to sensationalism. 6. Where the road might lead next. Soap storylines breathe, they twist, stall, then race forward again. Here are several likely next steps once Sarah is home safe and the dust settles. A redemption arc for Xander. Expect him to embark on another quest to prove his worth, possibly putting his life on the line to stop the still unidentified kidnapper. A collision course for Maggie and Kristen, with both women guilt-ridden over their daughter's suffering. Shared pain may forge the unlikeliest of truces, or fuel a rivalry that ignites the next big feud. A battle of the titans. Brady and Xander have clashed before, but never with Sarah's heart at stake. The tug-of-war could yank secrets into the open, including motives for the abductions. More DiMera intrigue. Anytime a DiMera is in chains, you can bet another DiMera, or an in-law, is pulling strings off stage. Watch EJ, Stefan, and even little Charlotte for clues. 7. Final thoughts for the longtime viewer. For those of us who started watching Days of Our Lives when television still had rabbit ear antennas, this new storyline offers all the classic ingredients. Peril, romance, guilt, and family loyalty. Yet it also carries a whisper of modern sophistication, characters wrestling with therapy, talking openly about mental health, and asking whether love alone can conquer personal demons. Remember, a spoiler is a signpost, not a signed contract. Writers tweak plots, actors' schedules shift, and sometimes fan reaction steers the ship. Still, as of July 2025, these are the most credible details available, and they paint a dramatic picture sure to keep us glued to our screens when the calendar flips to 2026. So set your DVRs, keep tissues handy for Maggie's tears, and maybe brew an extra cup of herbal tea for your heart when Xander pushes Sarah away, for her own good. The ride promises to be bumpy, heartbreaking, and, if Salem history is any guide, ultimately satisfying. After all, for 60 years the sun has risen on Days of Our Lives, and with every sunrise comes another chance for love to win, villains to repent, and families to heal. Next, a gentle prelude turns daring. Kat Green and Chad DiMera. We begin, fittingly, with the couple that has waited the longest to let their feelings breathe, the considerate widower Chad DiMera and the graceful yet guarded newcomer Kat Green. Ever since Kat breezed into Salem last winter, she and Chad have circled each other with the politeness of two dancers unsure the orchestra has begun to play. Abigail's memory still lingers tenderly in Chad's heart, while Kat, too, hides old wounds behind her elegant posture. In the upcoming episodes the hesitation finally melts. A summer arts gala at the Horton Museum sets the scene. Kat, stunning in a vintage emerald gown, recites a dedication to the late Abigail. Chad, moved by both the speech and the woman giving it, follows Kat onto the moonlit terrace. Viewers will watch him place a trembling hand on her shoulder, turn her slowly, and kiss her with the sincerity of a man who has spent years denying himself warmth. For Chad it is a step out of mourning, for Kat it is a promise of belonging. Yet seasoned fans know that in Salem, first kisses rarely stay uncomplicated, especially not when the DiMera name is involved. Will Stefano's ever-present shadow bless or condemn this fragile romance? Corporate power play or real passion? Philip Kiriakis and Gabby Hernandez shift the lens now to Titan Industries, where the desks are glossy, the contracts sharp, and the office lights never quite manage to soften the scheming. Philip Kiriakis, newly returned from a soul-searching stint in Europe, has resumed his seat at the family-owned giant. But the company he left is not the company he finds. Boardroom battles have grown more vicious, and at the center of the storm stands the resourceful Gabby Hernandez, widow, mother, and mistress of reinvention. Gabby, allied with Tony DiMera for reasons better left to future revelations, sets her sights on Philip. On a humid July afternoon, a routine budget review becomes something far less innocent. Philip thanks Gabby for last-minute spreadsheets. She leans across the mahogany desk to point at a line item he has missed. Their fingers brush, their eyes lock, and suddenly the Kiriaki's scion forgets both spreadsheets and self-control. The kiss that follows is no fleeting peck, it is urgent, sprawling, and punctuated by a sweep of papers to the floor. Cameras linger on Gabby's lips curling into a half-smile. Is that satisfaction at seduction, or genuine surprise at her own racing heart? Watchers should also keep an ear tuned to Tony. The suave DiMera eldest has his own agenda, and a Gabby willing to risk everything for real affection might derail it. If Gabby falls for Philip in earnest, can Tony drag her back to the chessboard, or will he sacrifice a piece to save the game? A revenge that feels too good. Sarah Horton and Brady Black. Meanwhile at the Brady pub, another storyline stretches its wings on a gust of righteous indignation. Sarah Horton Kiriakis, resilient doctor and perpetual romantic optimist, strides inside clutching 2 iced teas. She expects to surprise her husband, the rugged Xander Kiriakis. Instead she finds him in a corner booth, hand trailing down Gabby's arm, lips pressed to hers in a moment that turns Sarah's blood to ice. Sarah's reaction is swift, heartfelt, and, let's be honest, terribly human. She wheels around and almost collides with Brady Black, who has just entered carrying takeout for his dad. Memories of Brady's own heartbreak flicker across his face as he steadies Sarah. Words tumble out in disbelief, then in fury, and before the stunned lunch crowd can blink, Sarah yanks Brady by the collar and kisses him with enough fire to rival the pub's famous chowder. A staged kiss? Perhaps at first, yet the second, softer kiss in the alley outside is anything but performative. For years Brady and Sarah have taken parallel paths, both addicts to love, both survivors of tragedy. Salem's grapevine is already sizzling with whispers that their retaliation may bloom into real romance. And if it does, how will it affect Brady's hard-won sobriety and Sarah's devotion to her daughter? Seduction as strategy, and the fallout. Gabby Hernandez and Xander Kiriakis. All roads lead back to Xander, whose impulsive decision in that booth lights the fuse beneath every ensuing explosion. Gabby and Tony's plot requires Xander's loyalty, or at least his confusion. The bistro scene unfolds late in the episode but early in the chain of heartbreak. Candlelight, jazz on the speakers, Gabby leaning forward with a conspiratorial grin. She whispers a proposal about controlling Titan stock. Xander, flattered and intrigued, raises an eyebrow. Gabby's sudden kiss is recorded in every angle of Salem security cameras. One can already imagine Stefan's IT cronies replaying it for intel. Unbeknownst to the pair, Sarah's silhouette fills the doorway a second later, and her gasp is the harbinger of every domino about to topple. What makes this moment so pivotal is not the kiss itself but the web of consequences. Gabby's relationship with Philip cracks, Sarah's marriage trembles, Brady's future swerves, and Tony's machinations teeter on collapse. Even Julie Williams, sipping coffee across the room, senses the tension and clutches her pearls. While our dear Alice Horton's portrait almost seems to frown from its perch above the bistro's fireplace. Ripples through Salem. Why these 4 kisses matter for longtime viewers. The thrill of Days of Our Lives has never been the kisses alone, it's the tidal wave after the pebbles land. Each of these embraces sends ripples through families we have visited for generations. The Hortons and DiMeras. Chad's step into new love could mend old wounds. But it may also reopen the power struggle between the most benevolent clan in Salem and its most notorious. The Kiriakis dynasty. Philip's entanglement with Gabby risks Titan stability at a time when Victor's absence is still felt acutely. If stockholders smell scandal, they will circle like sharks. The Brady lineage. Brady's unexpected bond with Sarah might give him the anchor he's always lacked, yet Victor's ghost, and Kristen's inevitable reaction, lurk ominously. Tony and the puppet strings. whenever Tony DiMera orchestrates romance, one must ask what empire he plans to conquer. Should Gabby veer off script, will Tony tighten the reins or cut her loose? And hovering over it all is Xander, too impetuous to foresee how quickly desire can become a noose. His single kiss sets off jealousies that could cost him not only a wife but his chance at legitimacy within the Kiriakis fold. What older viewers should watch for? If you have followed Salem for decades, you may appreciate a slower, reflective viewing style. Here are gentle cues to enjoy as the drama unfolds: music and lighting. Notice how the show uses softer lighting for Kat and Chad, as if blessing a fresh start, while colder tones follow Gabby's strategic kisses. The score shifts from romantic strings to ominous drumbeats within seconds, foreshadowing trouble. Family photographs. Directors love framing key kisses beneath portraits of ancestors: Alice in the Horton living room, Victor in the Titan office. These visual nods remind us how history judges every stolen moment. Dialogue echoes: listen for lines that mirror classic episodes. When Sarah vows, "Two can play at that game," sharp-eared fans will recall Nicole saying the same to Victor in 2008. Symbolic objects: a napkin ring, a spill of coffee, even a toppled photo frame. Props telegraph emotional earthquakes before they happen. Keep an eye on the details. The writers scatter breadcrumbs generously this season. Looking beyond the summer while the kisses air in rapid succession, their fallout will occupy weeks of story. Early autumn teasers hint at custody battles. Should Sarah pursue a relationship with Brady, Xander may petition for more time with baby Victoria, dragging Justin Kiriakis back into court. Hostile takeovers. Phillips' lapse in judgment could allow distant cousin Alex to make a play for Titan's top seat, armed with surveillance of Philip and Gabby's desk diplomacy. A return from abroad. Rumors swirl that Abigail's brother JJ will come home, disturbed by Chad's new romance and determined to test Kat's motives. A sister scorned, Kristen DiMera is, by all unofficial accounts, still plotting from parts unknown. Brady's budding happiness has always been her trigger. Watch for fireworks when she hears of his kiss with Sarah. Final thoughts: Salem's greatest lesson is that a kiss is never just a kiss. It is a catalyst, a confession, a weapon, sometimes even a farewell. Over the next few months, every embrace described above will branch into betrayals, reunions, and perhaps a wedding or two. For viewers in their golden years, accustomed to the show's rhythm yet always hoping for something fresh, this season offers both nostalgia and novelty. Beloved families facing age-old temptations, young alliances forged in the flicker of candlelight, and enough reversals to keep minds sharp. So warm a mug of tea, settle into your favorite chair, and prepare to relive the thrill of first love, 4 times over. In Days of Our Lives, tomorrow always dawns with fresh intrigue. And as Alice Horton famously reminded us, when the heart speaks, listen. Salem's hearts are speaking now, louder than ever. The only question left is, are we ready for what they are about to say?